Ooh, I'm excited for this one. Well. Our friends at CanaWeld decided to hit me up, and guess who gets to have a chance to try out their new machine before anyone else? This guy right here. I am pumped. So anybody that watches my channel for a while now knows that I have been using CanaWeld almost since I started. I've had the 201 Pulse D machine. I've had this one for approximately 3 years now. I've used several different machines on my channel here, but I still, to this day, use this machine really often. It's a really great entry-level machine. It's small, it's super portable. The quality of the AC welding on that machine is really slick. After going back and outfitting that machine with a CK Worldwide torch, this little machine has taken on all of the jobs that I can throw at it. It's been a ton of fun to use this thing over the years. However, one complaint that I've had about that machine is basically that there is not a water cooling kit that you can get to attach to that machine to upgrade it. So unfortunately with that one, you're kind of stuck to an air-cooled or gas-cooled setup. It's a little hot in your hand at times, but our friends at CanaWeld here hit me up. They wanted to tell me about their new machine, and I am really excited to share this episode with everybody here today. All right, so from CanaWeld, let's welcome the 281 Pulse to the family. It is a fully water-cooled inverter type setup, and this machine has all the bells and whistles you could ever dream of having, with more amperage and a little bit more customization to a lot of the settings that I've learned to love with the 201. This machine is gonna be able to take on all kinds of serious projects. So we're gonna take a look at this machine as well as all the accessories that comes with it. You can see that this machine now is indeed listed on their website. You're taking a look at it on their site here right now. Obviously with this kit, you get the welding power source as well as the water-cooled attachment. This thing is freaking awesome to have. So we're gonna get into all that big ticket stuff in a sec here, but let's take a look at some of the attachments and accessories first. All right, so the first thing we'll take a look at here is the gas line. The thing is built really sturdy. The fittings on the end are also pretty heavy duty as well. And when you're looking at it, one end of it is different than the other end. So when putting it together, it's really easy to figure out which way everything goes. On one end here, we can install it to the regulator, which is supplied with the machine. This is a really nice and basic 2-stage regulator. And the thing that I like about this one is it has a ball readout on the working pressure. We can take a look at the old one here. It was basically like a 2-dial system. It's way easier to get an accurate readout of your gas flow with a ball readout. It's kind of similar to using like a flow meter or something like that on your torch. In my opinion, reading from a ball readout is way more accurate as opposed to reading the dial readout that was on the last type of regulator that the last machine came with. So again, I'm not throwing any shade at the original one that the 201 came with, but I definitely like this one better. You set this thing for your desired working pressure that you're gonna be using. I have this thing set here to be working with 100% argon. Set it for whatever you're doing, you're ready to go. All right, the next thing we're gonna take a look at is the ground lead. First impressions from this one compared to the old one, you can see an obvious difference between the two here. The old one was completely fine, no issues with it at all, but we can definitely see we have a higher gauge cable on this one. It's the exact same connection as the 201 machine, but taking a look at the clamp, even the clamp is way heavier duty than the last one. Got them both right here. I'm stronger. Oh, I'm stronger. Now let's take a look at some of the other accessories here. Obviously you get a stinger if you want to do any stick welding. The handle on this thing is sick. I definitely appreciate the attention to detail on that. But we're talking about TIG welding in this show. Now, I did have some gripes about the foot pedal that came with the 201 Pulse D machine. As you can see, this is it here. When using it, to be honest, it works completely fine. My main complaint with that one was just that it was really big and really awkward. I just didn't like the feel of it under my foot. The construction of it was obviously made out of metal. It was really top heavy, so it was really easy to tip over with your foot. Again, not a huge complaint, but when I'm working around the table in here all the time, it happens really often. I personally prefer foot pedals that are kind of like this one here. You can see this one is quite low profile, low to the ground. These ones sit really close to the floor. When you scoot them around your foot, they're not gonna tip over. You can also see with this other one, the range between 0 and 100% of your amperage. It's basically a moderate amount of throw on the pedal, whereas compared to this one here, you can see the range between 0 and 100% is quite a bit of throw on the pedal. Unfortunately, it's not the most comfortable thing under your foot, but like I said, it works fine, so it is what it is. All right, taking a look at the new one that we get with this machine here, we can see the new one is a little bit wider overall. It does seem to be a little bit more sturdy. It doesn't tip over quite as easily, and you can see that the overall throw of it is definitely a little bit less than the original one that came with the 201. With the metal lip on the bottom of the pedal, it's not really possible to leave your heel on the ground. If you're standing up welding like I do at this table a lot of the time, Having your foot kind of lopsided off the ground like that is not the most comfortable thing in the world. Now, using this pedal, as far as all that goes, absolutely zero problems with that. It works completely fine, had no problems with it at all. It does have this new amperage dial on the back of it. Personally, I've never really had a need for an additional adjustment like this. The manual says it's for precise adjustment and control. Being equipped with this extra potentiometer isn't something I would particularly use myself. I mean, when I'm working, my machine's kind of right there behind me. So if I have any adjustments I need to make to the overall amperage I've set, I'm actually just gonna use the machine behind me to make adjustments. That way I can see the exact numbers of what I'm doing. Fumbling around with my gloves, trying to adjust this thing. Sometimes it's dark with the lights and everything like this. Might be a little bit tricky to adjust. I like that precision. All right, let's move on to the next thing we can check out here. All right, this is gonna be the torch lead that comes with this machine. This one is almost identical to the one that came with the 201 Pulse D machine, except obviously this time it's equipped with water cooling lines. The line itself in your hand feels pretty slim, which is good. It's not too heavy or anything like that, so I definitely appreciate that about it. Again, with using it, with all the demonstrations I did warming up with this machine, it works completely fine. I do have to say that opening this thing up, setting it up right out of the box, without making any real fine adjustments to the settings, using this torch lead here and just running some passes with it, it looks really good. So like I said, using this thing right out of the box, it works awesome. However, I guess the main thing for me would kind of just be a personal preference. I just find the entire thing too bulky. Like I said, it's not excessively heavy, which is good, but the torch body itself is way too big for the type of uses that I'm doing in this shop here. Either using this new machine or the old 201 Pulse D. Like I said, the old machine I switched over to a CK9 style torch. It's got the same adapters and connections that hook up to that machine with no problems. So I honestly think I'm probably gonna upgrade to a CK Worldwide torch on this machine. Like I said, it's just a personal preference. I like those torches, the way they feel a little better, so I'll probably end up doing that. But again, let's take a look at the consumables compared to a kit that you can use with a CK torch, or a torch with a similar thread pattern or whatever. Whether I'm doing high quality projects in my shop like you're looking at here, or I'm working on one of my massive art pieces or something like that, doing demonstrations for my channel in here is just much easier using a lighter torch with better dexterity. Obviously with a smaller torch as well, I can use all of the stubby lenses that I want to for my welding, or like a gas lens setup or something that I prefer using for aluminum. All right, so now it's time to crack open the boxes for the machine and the cooler. Let's open these up. The construction on this thing is solid. The handle is a strong, dense plastic. It feels really strong. And even though this thing is bigger than the 201, it's still small and manageable for sure. It can be installed on shelves, under shelves, kind of wherever fits in your shop. All right, now let's turn it on and have a look at the new display panel here. So as you can see, we see a bigger screen display here. We can see everything super clearly. We have the amperage setting right in the middle. And again, one of the main things about this machine that I like, the fan turns off after a minute of you're not using it. So you can see on the left, we have one button that will access one side of the menu. And on the right-hand side of the dial, we have another button that will let you access the other side of it. You kind of just scroll through, make your adjustments as you needed. And the entire thing has a whole bank of saved programs. So that's the one thing that I love about this is you can save one for stainless, you can save one for aluminum. You don't have to change your settings every time. You just hit the menu button, load one of your programs, you're good to go. On the left-hand side, you have a button to make your high frequency TIG adjustment. We have a new setting on this machine where we can adjust the wave function. And this changes the shape of the sine wave on your AC welding. On this machine, you can select either normal square wave, an AC sine wave, or something that's called the triangle wave. Triangle wave is pretty cool. It's essentially described as a setting that's gonna let you focus your heat. It helps to minimize the overall heat input and distortion. It's great for welding really thin stuff where distortion might be an issue. As I get more familiar with this machine, I'm really looking forward to exploring the difference between these different settings quite a bit more. You can set your 4-step or 2-step. This is for if you're using a thumb trigger or not. You can set your pulse settings. That's a whole different bank of stuff you can get into. And again, that's a lot of fun to play with. On the right-hand side up top, you can set your frequency. This thing goes all the way up to 250 hertz. And your balance is a little bit funny. It definitely doesn't have the wide range of adjustment I typically like playing with. You can go from about 50% to about 75% here. So I got to figure out a way to make that work a little different. You also have a selection on the bottom right-hand corner. This lets you select the different size of electrode you're using. Again, I'm setting it for a 2.4 millimeter, which is a 3/32 of an inch tungsten. So it's pretty sweet. You got a big crystal clear screen. You can see things much better. out of the box with hardly any adjustments to the stock settings. I'm using the basic square wave setting here. You can see that it lays completely fine right out of the box. So again, this is with almost no adjustments to the settings. So again, I've literally just set my amperage, that's about it. And obviously my gas volume coming out of the working pressure. And right out of the box with the stock accessories, I'm running some really nice stuff, or at least in my opinion I am. So I do remember this about the 201 Pulse D machine as well. Very little tinkering is needed to do with the machines to get some nice stuff, especially after the years with the 201 machine, after customizing my accessories a little bit, learning about which settings on that machine I prefer using. Either of these machines are gonna crush anything that you put in front of it. But like I said, right out of the box, the settings that I used, I was able to weld all kinds of different joints and do some decent stuff. I guess as you get more familiar with a machine like this, it's just nice to have more options, the different things that you can play with, adjusting different settings as you get more familiar with it. It's just a way to get a better feel for it. All right, so I mentioned briefly about welding some stainless steel. I have to say that this feels very good with this machine. You can see that even with the stock consumables that the torch is rocking right here, I'm still getting some pretty nice stuff on this thin material. Adjusting for gas is something that's a little bit more tedious with stainless steel, especially when I'm using consumables like you're looking at here. But again, right out of the box, this is what I'm getting. Both with stainless steel and aluminum TIG welding, the main thing that I really like about this machine is the stability at low amperage. A lot of the time with common setups at low amperage welding, arc deflection is going to be pretty common like you're looking at here, especially if your tungsten is not shaped perfectly or it's not perfectly clean. As soon as you get to low amperage, you're probably going to see your arc flickering around a little bit. But especially with backing off the pedal at the end of a pass, this thing holds its arc really stable. I have to say that the arc stability is probably my favorite thing about this machine so far, and especially with TIG welding aluminum. I've burned up a lot of aluminum testing this thing out so far, and in doing so, not once has the torch even heated up at all. Again, with the 201 Pulse D machine, I loved the way this thing TIG welded aluminum, but I would definitely have to put it down, just take breaks and let that thing cool down pretty often. So with the new water cooling setup on the 281, that torch did not heat up at all. It was a standard coolant that you're recommended to use for water coolers like this. You can get it at any common welding stores, pretty easy to find. So as far as performance goes with this machine, I'm absolutely thrilled with what I've seen so far. Like I said, I do have some gripes with the torch lead, but again, these are just totally personal opinions for what I am doing here in my shop. Right out of this box, the machine lights up completely fine, and if you know what you're doing, you can start stacking up dimes without much adjustment at all. So after playing with this one for a little bit here, I think it's safe to say at the moment, this machine is a pretty awesome big brother to the original 201 Pulse D machine that I originally fell in love with when I started my channel. Obviously, it's really cool to have a water-cooled option now. I love the big screen on it with a clear display. It's definitely cool to see an upgrade on the front. And again, throwing a different torch on this for a better fit for what I'm doing here, you're probably gonna see this machine on my channel quite a bit. The portability of both these machines is absolutely crazy. You can literally throw this entire setup in the trunk of a car. As long as you have somewhere to plug it in that has an adequate and safe power supply, you're gonna be able to TIG up any job and make it look great. Go out today, do a random act of kindness for a stranger. My name is Dusty, Phil and Chill. We will talk soon. Peace.